movie. You know what I'm saying? It's my life before Rocafella. And then also the fact that Cam... See, when I was younger, you know, there was this crew called the Lynch Mob, and they were from my block, 142nd Street, but I knew all of them. And I didn't participate in the shit that they were doing, but I was still cool with them. You know, when you get cool with somebody, like, you know, when they robbing people, they still cool with you. Like they'd be robbing somebody right next to me, and they'd be like, yo, watch out, Dame. Or, you know, I just didn't have to worry about it. And I didn't appreciate it in the moment, but I'm thinking, God damn, what if I didn't know those dudes? Like, I had no wins. I would have had to really become... Because in Harlem, it's not about being, like, tough. It's about being thorough. Like, you're not a killer, but you have to be prepared to do it. It's just part of the game, you know, if you're going to be outside. And I'm glad that I never got... They would have pushed me to do that shit. And they didn't, you know what I'm saying? So, because of that, the younger guys looked up to me. And that was Cameron, and that really happened. You understand what I'm saying? So, the movie is about that. And Cam is in it as the younger guy, and, you know... Styles actually plays my loose ends, and y'all should Google him. You know what I'm saying? And you'll know. You know.
One more question. Can you tell us anything out of Diplomat's reunion?
I can tell you, I just did a project with A-Track and Cam.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Fire.
The reunion thing is like, I feel like when I was young, I'd be like, I never want to be like the older reunion guy on the stage and be doing the fat moves, like the fat dance. Like that, I mean, I wasn't going to do that. And like, I think if the reunion shit happens, there should be like canes involved. You know, we still doing new shit. You know, there's no reunion, motherfuckers. They doing shit. Like, when somebody does things when they're 20, you can't expect them to do the same shit for like 50 years. Like, it's not a reunion, it's like an evolution. So when you feel like revisiting the things, you know, because you got to remember, a lot of times, the shit that you was doing when you were in your 20s, you want to get as far away from that shit as possible.
Right. So
people talk to me about reunion, I'm not going back to that shit. I just spent 10 years trying to get away from it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like my life now. You know, my brand is built on me, Poppington and Dusko and all that shit. None of this shit is based on anything that I've been Gary Coleman into. You know, like, I'm not going to be Gary Coleman into everything Rocafella.
Right.
I did that shit when I was too young, man. You know, you're going to talk about my fashion shit, my movie shit, my art shit, my running around the world shit, my health shit, my diabetes shit. There's so much other shit. I'm not ready for a reunion yet. I'm not old. I'm vintage. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Eddie King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're old. Singing old shit. I'm not doing that. Not yet.
Does anyone else want to ask him anything?
Yeah. You've been one of my idols for a long time. I'm 30 years old, so like when I was coming up, you know, I always was watching your plays, what you was doing in the streets. And one of my favorite videos is the Choke No Joke, when you went up to Def Jam and they was having a meeting. I think it was Julie Greenwald, Mike Kaiser, they was all having a meeting about Jay.
I was there. I remember.
What was your energy like? Like what sparked you to just go on there and just literally just shut that whole shit down? It was just like...
Well, in the moment, my heart was broken because Biggs' brother had just got killed. And what I was aggravated about was they had called this meeting and they said that they sent us an email knowing that we were all at his wake, and I found that to be dirty. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that my temper might get the best of me in that moment because I truly felt disrespected. So I brought the camera just so that I had a witness. And, you know, I was right. Everything. Only thing is I didn't know who was... I didn't know that meeting was thrown by who it was thrown by. You know what I'm saying? And that was like crazy. But other than that, I taped it because, you know, I knew they were going to go to Human Resources and say I said a bunch of shit that I didn't, and they did that. And I just sent them the tape and say, stop fucking with me before I sue you. And they left me the fuck alone. And that was my energy right then and there. It was a savage, hurt, broken energy. And I was sick of them. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to embarrass them. I wanted everyone to know that they were suckers. And that they would even go that far as to play with us when we were going through like a death of one of our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for what? You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was whack. And, you know, where I'm from, when people do things like that, you have to be violent because you don't want other people to do that. You have to make examples of other people. But in this business, you can't do that. So the only thing I could do was just embarrass them. That was my way. That was like shooting them. Every chance I get, that was how I bust my gun, by bringing the truth to the light. Do that shit that you're doing in front of everybody and be proud of it. So here's a camera. And don't say I did something I didn't do. because I just humiliated you in front of your staff because you're weak and you're a coward and because you have no honor. And now everyone that thought you was tough knows you soft on my terms. And I'm not going to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wrote a book about those motherfuckers. Culture vultures. I wrote a book. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's documented. Like, you're playing with the wrong person. Like, why would you play with a motherfucker that can make movies? You know, that's smart, that can articulate, and that's not going to do nothing dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I learned is they took a lot of years just, like, banking on my temper. And that's why they showcased a lot of the dumb shit. Like, I was like, how come y'all keep only talking about pouring champagne and yelling and dumb shit, and I'm doing mad fly shit? It's because y'all trying to make an excuse for what y'all trying to do, and I wasn't going to let that happen. You know, I've seen how they treat motherfuckers in history, so I had to protect myself. That camera was a witness. That's why I always had it on. My best witness. You ain't going to say I did something I didn't do. That's just going to get documented. And also, motherfuckers don't fuck with you when you with your kids. So they're the safest place I could be is with my children. That's why I spend so much time with them. I mean, that's one of the reasons.
The last question is, you've been able to reinvent yourself, reinvent so many different brands. What would you say have been like your key 3 principles in business?
I don't call it reinvent. I just call it evolving and growing. It's just I started mad young. Most people get, reach that kind of success in their 40s. I'm 20, so I can't be the same. I'd be whacked. Like, imagine me really dancing around champagne and yelling it out. That shit would be corny. But also, it would be corny. I don't not do it because because I think it's corny. To do it because I'm old, it's just I really think it's corny. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this shit no more. You know, it was only cool when you're in your 20s. In your 20s, you know, you're not supposed to be smart. You know, you're not supposed to listen to somebody when you make millions of dollars when you're young. Who are you listening to? You make more money than whoever's telling you, you know. You're supposed to be reckless. That's rock star shit. You know, you're supposed to be blow all your money and get all drunk, do all the dumb shit. By the time you're 30 and you have kids, you're supposed to be over that shit. You're supposed to be doing cooler things. You know, you're not supposed to be, like, again, I always remember back to when I was young laughing at older niggas. I'm never going to be that older nigga I was laughing at. I'm never going to be that old man in the club. I'm never going to be the dude that, you know, just because that one time I wore that outfit, everyone thought I was fly, I'm going to wear it for the next 30 years. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to evolve. I'm going to grow. So it's not reinventing. Y'all learning what I learned as I learned it. I'm growing. Once I learned this business was whack, I did another one. You know, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to go do art. My midlife crisis was running around the world opening up art galleries. You know, I like to do fly, cool shit. And I bank on cool shit. I just like to do cool shit. You know, so I just think I got to be smart about it. Like, I got to be the plug. I got to be the connect. So once I know how to do it myself, I can be real arrogant about it. And then I do it. And then when I win, it's like when everyone thinks you're losing and you win, it's so much better. Like, when motherfuckers was making me the underdog, I was cracking up. Like, this shit was funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I can be patient. I think I'm going to do it by the pool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come out when I feel like it. You know, it's never been urgent. I've never found my Batman or the Joker. I haven't found my competition yet that inspires me to fight. I just feel like impressing my girl and my family and me. I don't even feel no competition.
Tell us anything out of Diplomats reunion.
I can tell you I just did a project with A-Track and Cam.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
The reunion thing is like, I feel like, when I was young, I'd be like, I never want to be like the older reunion guy on the stage and be doing the fat moves, like the fat dance. Like that, I mean, I wasn't going to do that. And like, I think if the reunion shit happens, it should be like Kane's involved. You know, we still doing new shit. You know, there's no reunion. Motherfuckers, they doing shit. Like, when somebody does things when they're 20, you can't expect them to do the same shit for like 50 years. Like, it's not a reunion. It's like an evolution. So when you feel like revisiting the things, you know, because you got to remember, a lot of times, the shit that you was doing when you were in your 20s, you want to get as far away from that shit as possible.
Right.
So people talk to me about reunion. I'm not going back to that shit. I just spent 10 years trying to get away from it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like my life now. You know, my brand is built on me, Poppington and Dusko and all that shit. None of this shit is based on anything that I've been Gary Coleman into. You know, like, I'm not going to be Gary Coleman into everything Rocafella. Right. I did that shit when I was too young, man. You're going to talk about my fashion shit, my movie shit, my art shit, my running around the world shit, my health shit, my diabetes shit. There's so much other shit. I'm not ready for a reunion yet. I'm not old. I'm vintage. You know what I'm saying? Eddie King. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're old. So singing old shit. I'm not doing that.